Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I am bringing to you my October TBR. So obviously in my September TBR I said that I was going to start trying to do TBR and just setting myself very small ones to see how I felt about it, and I actually really enjoyed doing it last month. So we're going to continue for now. I'm going to keep it with smaller versions of TBRs until I feel like I've got enough time to tackle like a big TBR, but I just feel better having a few books on there that I plan to read and then I can mood read around it because, as I said, I am a huge mood reader. I've been so excited to do this TBR because it is officially spooky season and I am so excited to get stuck into all the spooky horror-y books. As I've said before, I'm a huge horror movie fan. I watch so many horror movies. Me, my family, my boyfriend, we just love horror movies. It's probably my favourite genre, to be honest, but I have never read a horror book, which is ridiculous, so this is my perfect chance to start reading horror books and hopefully love them, and I am so excited for the books that I have on my TBR this month. So without further ado, let's just get into them. So the first book that I have on my October TBR is an absolute classic of a horror. Yeah, it's a horror. I suppose it's not like, maybe not the same type of horror as the other ones on my TBR, but it's classed as a horror, I believe, and it is Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is the most beautiful edition. It is another one of the Penguin cloth-bound classics, which I just love. As I've said before, I want to collect as many of these editions as I possibly can because I just think they are beautiful. However, this book is quite a heifer. It's massive compared to the rest of the books on my TBR, and I work full time, I don't have that much time, so this one I feel like I will leave till last and is probably going to be the one that gets left by the wayside, but it's going on there anyway because I feel like it's the perfect time to read it, and I have had it since like Christmas last year, so I feel like it has to go in an October TBR, doesn't it? It's actually only like 430 pages. I feel like it looks a lot bigger than that, at least in real life it does. It must just be like really thick pages, so that's actually not too bad. That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was thinking like minimum 500 pages, so I'll take that. So from what I know about Dracula, I'm pretty sure Count Dracula himself is like the OG vampire who is cursed to live off blood for eternity, and he lives in his little castle by himself, very isolated from society, until Keanu Reeves' character, if you've seen the film, Jonathan I think his name is assigned to finalise a land deal because he's a lawyer. So he travels up there to finalise this deal with Count Dracula, and all's going well until Count Dracula sees a photo of Jonathan's fiancée Mina, who is a spitting image of Dracula's dead wife, which of course brings up a lot of feelings. And then I believe Jonathan is then imprisoned in the castle and Count Dracula goes after Mina, and it's all very spooky and it's all very gothic, and I'm very excited for it. The film I've seen numerous times and I do love it, but it's one of those films that's just like icky. Like it just makes me feel physically sick the whole way through. I don't know if that makes sense. There are films that do that to me. They just make me feel sick. They're just like icky. But it's very good at the same time. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one. Praying I get around to it this month. I'm going to try so hard to read all the books on my TBR this month. I really want to get into the proper spooky mood, get cozy and go for them, but we'll see with this one. So the next book on my October TBR is another absolute classic when it comes to horrors, and that is The Shining by Stephen King. This will be the first Stephen King book that I have ever read, which I'm quite excited about. Again, when it comes to the movies, I do like a bit of Stephen King, but I feel like I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with them because, I mean, for example with It, the first one I loved. I went to see it at the cinema and it was great, it was so jumpy, it was such a good storyline, and then when it came to part 2 I really didn't like it. I didn't like how it started off with something with quite a realistic storyline and then went off into this weird one with like weird creatures, like verging on sci-fi type thing. I like a good ghost story, like a good supernatural story. When it comes to like creatures and things like that, it just doesn't do it for me. So I did really enjoy the film of The Shining, and I also really enjoyed Doctor Sleep as well, the sequel, but I feel like the book I'm probably going to enjoy even more because I feel like it's going to have a lot more explanation in it, and I've just heard that like his books are amazing to read. And whenever I think about The Shining by Stephen King, all I ever think about is the episode of Friends where Joey's reading The Shining and he has to put it in the freezer because it's so scary. So at least I've always got that as an option if I need it. But yeah, basically this novel, I believe, is about, I think the novel centres around Danny, who is the 5-year-old boy who has a gift called the Shining, which means he has a sort of affinity for the supernatural. So sort of like psychic powers. And when his father becomes the caretaker over the winter for an old hotel, they're left there alone and isolated, and his psychic powers go out of control in that scary hotel with all the things that are stuck there. And then obviously in the film, I feel like the main part of it is Jack Nicholson's character and how his sort of mental health seriously deteriorates and he becomes very aggressive and very violent, as if he's sort of possessed by the hotel. Whereas when you read the blurb for the book, that's not even mentioned. It's all about these different spirits and things in the hotel, especially in room 217, and all of these things that Danny can see. So that's what I'm really interested about when reading the book, is the difference between the book and the film, because it's been a while since I watched the film, but I didn't really feel like Danny having The Shining was the central part of the film. Maybe I'm being really dumb and totally forgetting what the film's about, but I don't know, I thought it was more about Jack Nicholson's character and his whole trajectory. So I don't know. But basically I am really excited to read this book and I'm really excited to tick off my first Stephen King book. Hopefully I'll really enjoy it and I can read a lot more Stephen King after that. The next 2 books on the TBR, again I've done 4 books for the month of October, and the next 2 books are more sort of modern ones. They're not really like classics, they're ones I've just heard about over BookTube, particularly from Books with Chloe, who has in some of her recent videos been recommending some horror books. I think she's trying to get into reading more horror as well. And the first one I've got is The Girl from the Well by Rin Chupeco, and this one looks so creepy and I am absolutely loving for it. Like, I cannot wait to read this book. This is basically about a spirit called Okiku, I'm gonna say, I might be butchering that, who I believe was murdered brutally after feeling a lot of pain and I'm assuming abuse. And so she, when she is murdered, becomes a very angry and vengeful spirit who wanders the world seeking out those who viciously take the lives of children and getting her vengeance on them. And then I believe there is a bit of a twist when there is, I'm assuming it's a character, basically it says until she meets 17-year-old Tark. So 17-year-old Tark, I'm gonna guess he is involved in the killing of a young child, but maybe there's more to the story than usual. I don't know, I don't really know for sure. All I know is from reading the blurb, but it just, like, look at it. It looks so spooky and perfect for the month of October. I cannot wait to read it. And the back says, part The Ring, part The Grudge, part The Exorcist. 3 of the scariest movies ever made, and I'm so excited. Honestly, I cannot wait to get my hands on this. This one's only like 255 pages, so this could be a one-sitting book. This could be just a rainy day, get your hot chocolate, get under the covers and spook yourself out kind of book. That's what I'm feeling for this one, and I cannot wait. The final book that I have on my October TBR is another one that I'm hugely excited for, and that is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. Yeah. My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix, and straight away the biggest thing that drew me to this book is that cover. Like, look how amazing that is. It's just proper 80s horror, VHS vibes. It's just gorgeous. I love it. This is probably going to be one of those ones that I'll have to display face out on my bookcase because it's just amazing. Like, how cool is that? Oh, I just love it. This one, it kind of sounds more like a chick flick, 80s chick flick meets horror movie, and I am living for it. It's about 2 young girls who, after an evening of skinny dipping goes wrong, one of the girls, oh my god, sorry, I've got pins and needles again. So after an evening Don't eat your hair, India, it's not what it's for. So after an evening of skinny dipping goes disastrously wrong, one of the girls, Gretchen, which instantly gives me Mean Girls vibes, begins to act different and weird things start happening around her and it all gets a little bit spooky. And what I'm assuming from the title is that Gretchen is possessed. And it says, is their friendship powerful enough to beat the devil? It sounds great. And this one says it's like an unholy hybrid of Beaches and The Exorcist. Like, does that not just sound amazing? Beaches is such an amazing film. If you've not seen it, you should, but it's highly, highly emotional, but it's an amazing film. And The Exorcist, I watched too young to be fair, and had nightmares for years about that blooming film. It was just terrifying. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to watch it again. So I watched it recently, purely to get over my fears. And it's really not that bad. But at the time, it was, and it's such a cult horror movie. I just love that whole vibe, and that is what this cover gives me as well, so I'm so excited to read this one. So yeah, that is my TBR for the month of October. I'm so excited to get into these spooky books. I really like how 2 of them are classics and 2 of them are more modern tales. So 2 of them I already kind of know the story, but it'll be interesting to read them, and the other 2 are just completely new to me. But yeah, I'm so excited. I don't know how many times in this video I've said that I'm excited, but I just love spooky season. I love Halloween, I love autumn, I love rainy weather, dark nights, like, it's just my vibe. So I'm excited. So yeah, that will conclude this video. If you, as always, if you did enjoy it, then do please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe for more content, comment down below with any of your thoughts and feelings, and I will see you in my next one.